Welcome back to Friday Live. That's right. It's Friday, February 20th, 2026, and we are live on Mostly Superheroes across the platforms. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find us here live every single Friday. I would say most Fridays, at least 90% of Fridays of the year. We're right here giving away prizes and giving you updates on what's happening in some TV and film. Always catching you up on what's happening in St. Louis a little bit, but we got listeners in over 50 countries. We're in season 7 of our podcast. I'm Logan Janis, and you're going to hear from some of our co-hosts today, Sam the Sleeper, Scotty Scoop, Arena Andy. So welcome to the show, whether you're taking a break from work, sneaking off from work, maybe just off today, and you're gearing up for a weekend. And we're going to talk about what's going on this weekend, not just in the area, but in the world. The Olympics are happening, couple brief updates there, but mainly you're here maybe to win a prize. And we have amazing prizes and some major announcements sending you to Comic-Cons, food festivals, the movie theater, and more. And there's a lot happening on the show. So with all that, welcome to it. Let's have some fun. Please share out this stream if you're seeing us. We're an indie podcast, and your support means everything. Another independent creator I got to shout out is Andy Taylor, Mr. Pizza Babble, who was on our podcast earlier this year. And me and him are working hard on a lot of things. He's pretty much hitting up every wrestling event in the region and beyond. He's also going out to Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, and we're working on a big video collaboration. He's physically going out to the Pizza Expo. Pizza Babble will be there. And if you haven't heard the interview where Pizza Babble sat right here in this studio, please go to mostlysuperheroes.com and check it out. And while we're highlighting people that have been in, before we get to some giveaways, Tim Comby was just in the podcast, rocking with the band Ludo. He's also a comedian in Nateland. Nate Bargatze, his network. Tim is a comedian in that network and came in, talked all about it. We just dropped that episode. Jamie Jirak, you ever heard of her? Phase Hero, Love in the Time of Hydra, writer of On Films. Great website with a lot of great writers. Jamie's one of them. And one of my favorite nerds. She loves Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She loves Buffy. She loves Angel. And she came on, and her and I just nerded out for about pretty much everything we could come up with in an hour. And that episode's out now at mostlysuperheroes.com. We, of course, had Arena Andy finally back in the studio with our friends at Pathways to Independence, a great nonprofit in St. Louis. That whole episode's out, kind of teaching you about what Pathways to Independence does. And this is also something we're doing this weekend in St. Louis. Andy got us a table at their community trivia event. Pathways to Independence is opening this weekend with their annual fundraiser, really, but it's a trivia night for us. So we can't wait to hang out with our local community again here in St. Louis. And we got people joining us again from over 50 countries. Let us know in the comments where you're from. Shout out your city or your town or your country. And you're going to see this prize wheel right behind me. Start picking out a color, because what we do is you pick one color, you comment that color, we give away a prize. It's coming up soon, and it's coming up in fan mail, where we're going to talk about Alamo Drafthouse. You got an Alamo Drafthouse near you? Or if you're in St. Louis, we love our St. Louis location. And Mark comes in and gives us those early sneak peeks of what's coming to the movie theaters. That's what you get on this podcast. And Batman of St. Louis, Batman of STL, was here in the studio. The episode's out live now, mostlysuperheroes.com. We don't know who he really is. I mean, Bruce Wayne, I guess you could assume, but his identity is secret. He's Batman of STL, and you could get a picture with him, actually, if you live here locally. And that brings us to our next segment.
Fan mail.
All right, this is where we're going to give some stuff away. But before we give it away, take a look at that color wheel, pick a color. I want to tell you what is up for grabs. What prizes do we have that you can win? And I'm going to try to do something different in the live this week. And we're going to start doing, where you can actually pick your prize. That's kind of what I'm going to try to do. If you're here in the chat and you're chatting with us and you're engaging, I want you to pick the prize and then have your chance to win that prize. We're going to start doing this each week. Also, each week on Friday Live, we are now doing a weekly drawing. So on the Mostly Superheroes website, mostlysuperheroes.com, you can enter up to one time per week, we ask. And on Friday Live, we'll draw a name out of the hat every single week and you'll win a prize. It's a brand new drawing. We're just starting it. We got the form up today. It's on the Friday Live page on mostlysuperheroes.com. It looks just like what it looks like on this screen right now. If you're watching us on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, if you're watching us on TikTok, you might not see that image at this moment, but it's out on the podcast that will release just later today. All right, we got some people in the chat saying hi. Mark D in Nevada. Hell yeah, man. Thank you for joining us on Friday. Are you off? Are you just hanging out? Appreciate you jumping in the stream. And we send prizes to people all over the country and all over the world. So Mark and you and anyone else that's paying attention, pick a color on that prize wheel. Here's what we have up for grabs this week. Foodies Eat First is a local St. Louis food festival, but it's a great reason to travel to St. Louis, Missouri. Braden STL, major influencer, foodie, just really a community leader and a friend. Braden Tawaldi's his name, but Braden STL is how you'd know him online. He's hosting Foodies Eat First, one in May, one in August, and a 13-day restaurant week in September. We're going to be working with these guys. We have a exclusive podcast booth at the festivals, and we're going to be able to do special giveaways like tickets to the event, of course. Another event we have coming up, this kind of fits in more with Mostly Superheroes, I guess. That's why we have the Mostly. We can have food festivals, but we do have Comic-Cons up for grabs. Another great reason to come to town, or if you live in town, Two Rivers Comic-Con is April 25th and 26th, a Saturday and a Sunday. And we are a major player in this. I'll be moderating some panels. We'll probably have a live Mostly Superheroes panel there. We'll have a big booth. We'll have some comic books, all these prizes we're talking about. But the important thing is we can send you with a weekend pass to Two Rivers Comic-Con. Again, April 25th and 26th, 2026 here in the St. Louis area, St. Charles, Missouri. It's tworiverscomiccon.com is where you want to get the info. Not too late to be a sponsor, get you a vendor booth. If you're a comic book shop, you got to be there. If you're a comic book shop, please try to make an appearance and bring your comic books, because that's one of my favorite things about Two Rivers Comic-Con is that I can shop all of the St. Louis comic book shops in one place, and it's at the Steel Shop in St. Charles. So it's like it kind of looks like Gotham City. I'm not even kidding. The place where the Comic-Con will be. So Two Rivers Comic-Con, we got tickets up for grabs. And all these are listed at mostlysuperheroes.com/contest, along with Beetlejuice the musical, the musical, the musical. Have you guys heard of this? Beetlejuice the musical, the musical, the musical. I'm not going to say his name one more time. We have tickets to this show. It's coming to the Fabulous Fox, April 24th through 26th, and we can send you there. We've got tickets. We want to give them to you, but you can buy them at fabulousfox.com and find this event details as well as the contest listing at mostlysuperheroes.com. I'm really proud and excited to work with the Fabulous Fox Theater, a major theater in town where legends have performed for many decades, and we can't wait to see the musical there as well. I said I'm not going to say it again. And also, if you like movies, oh man, if you like movies and you're in town especially, but even if, again, don't be discouraged if you don't live in St. Louis, but we do work really closely with the Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis, and we have an excellent schedule of superhero flicks that we're going to be seeing. And our first one is coming up on February 23rd with The Dark Knight coming back for one night only at the Alamo in St. Louis. And our event is called the Screen and Social, the extended movie experience. Hang out before, after the movie, catch Mostly Superheroes in the lobby of your favorite movie theater. And we're just giving away all these prizes we're talking about. Spin the wheel. You can do some trivia. You can get some comic books, and you can get your review featured on our podcast. That's completely free. You come up, we got a microphone, a mixer set up. We have an optional camera. If you're okay with video, cool. If not, we'll turn it off, and we'll get your review of whatever movie you saw. So you could find us at the Screen and Social. And man, the schedule is just booked solid with Mandalorian and Grogu, Supergirl, Avengers Endgame re-release, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Avengers Doomsday. We're counting down to all those things. And there are so many movies on here that are not even listed up on the screen yet, because we just booked these this week. And this is where we get to do really fun screening socials with repertory titles at the Alamo, meaning older movies. And here's how I'm just going to shout them out. February 27th, Interview with a Vampire. March 6th, Donnie Darko, with a few other Jake Gyllenhaal films they're running. Monday, March 16th. Again, these are screen and socials. Catch us at the Alamo on these nights for March 16th is Crunchyroll Anime Night. Twin Peaks, the David Lynch series, they're closing out their big run of Twin Peaks. And a big show blockbuster that they'll bring back. I think it's Titanic. I think Titanic is definitely running at the Alamo in March. And then in March 22nd, I got to say the name one more time, but we're in a new segment, so maybe it's okay. Beetlejuice, the original film, is coming back to the Alamo. So we're definitely going to be there on March 22nd for a screen and social for that. And then here, you nerds, get ready. This is the one that people have been really jumping out about. March 29th, you better book your whole day because it's a marathon. And a first ever extended cut marathon showing Lord of the Rings. All of the Lord of the Rings, the extended cut for the first time now, is an all-day trilogy. Scotty Scoop added it up, and it was like 630 minutes or something. Strap in at the Alamo. Best bathrooms in town. I always say that. People are bringing you drinks and food to your seat, and we will be there in the lobby doing our screen and social thing for in between the films when you are taking breaks or you're there before and after. Catch us there. So a long list of things at the Alamo, and that was just through March. Yeah, and we have a lot more exciting announcements about movies we want to pick, and we're trying to give our fans like you guys the opportunity to pick those movies as well. So you can submit those, on our website, on the socials at Mostly Superheroes, and maybe you could get your movie featured at the movie theater. All right, so it's time for the live prize, okay? I see a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people watching the live stream. We want to start seeing you comment with one color. All right? You start commenting with one color, and then you're going to win a prize. It could be one of the things that we listed here today. It might be something totally different. We've got some Voltron Funko Pops and toys from the Voltron store, where your store.voltron.com. You can get 15% off a promo code Mostly. We got some stuff like that. So start commenting with the colors right here. It's blue, red, green, yellow. We got a dark purple and a light purple. I think I said them all. Blue, red, yellow, dark purple, light purple. Start comment with one in there, and you could win, okay? Here we go. I see some people across this. Here we go. We got a blue. We got a purple. Well, you got to say which purple. Oh, no, dark purple. I see you. Okay. Blue and purple. So I got a yellow. All right, let's spin the wheel. Here we go. Spin, 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 spin. Good luck to you all. We do on first stop. Blue. There was a blue. Looks like Mikey on YouTube. Thank you so much. Yes, that's right, man. You won. You're the winner. You're getting something that we rattled off today, whether it's a giveaway or a prize or a ticket to an event. DM us, Blue. I got your handle right here, so I will be reaching out. It's that easy to win on Friday Live. Let's move it into some news.
News and rumors.
All right, so I thought I'd try to talk about something worldly, outside of TV and film. And everybody kind of seems to be talking about the Winter Olympics. So I thought, okay, I'm not really, I didn't really follow the Winter Olympics leading up to it. I wasn't like counting down by any means, but I wanted to learn about it because, it's just one of those things that's happening. And what can we learn? Okay, so this is from the New York Times. And we have the 2026 Winter Olympics, officially known as Milano Cortina 2026, are currently in their final days in Italy, being February 6th through the 22nd. As of February 20th, that's today, Norway leads the medal count, followed by the United States and Italy. Key upcoming events include the men's hockey semifinals and finals, and the closing ceremony is approaching. It's located in Milan, in Italy. It takes place again February 6th through to the 22nd. And some key highlights, there are over 2,900 athletes, 116 events, and this is the first ever two cauldron opening ceremony. And I did catch the end of the women's USA win over Canada yesterday in overtime. I'm like, are we watching Miracle 2 here? I mean, isn't that the thing with, Olympic hockey? We're just, who's going to be Miracle 2? Because Miracle, the first movie, of course, right? And Sam Zeller, Sam the Sleeper from Team Jakey, actually gave us a quick update on his week before the weekend, and he's talking about the Olympics. So let's hear from Sam.
What's up? Sam the Sleeper here. It's Friday. We made it. I am doing my best to get some work done, but definitely keeping an eye on this Canada-Finland hockey game. 2 o'clock, 2:40, I think, this afternoon, the U.S. play, and I cannot wait. This is basically the only thing I watch during the Winter Olympics is hockey. So enjoy your Friday. Like I said, I'm pretty much just going to be watching hockey this weekend. But enjoy your Friday, enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you.
Thank you, Sam. And while we're talking about Team Jakey, might as well highlight some upcoming events. There are 3 on the Team Jakey calendar. If you're not familiar with Team Jakey, it's mental health advocacy. Jake lost his life 13 years ago to suicide. Sam is Jake's twin brother, and him and his family, the Zellers, started Team Jakey to end the stigma and not let this happen to anyone else, that if they can help it, if they have a say in it. And that includes community events, including a mental health fair coming up at our friends Four Hands Brewing Company downtown in St. Louis, hosted by 3Run4. That's right, 3Run4 on March 15th during the 314 weekend. 314 is a major area code here in the St. Louis area. So March 14th, 314 is a big celebration around town. If you don't know, and if you do know, there's tons of events happening that weekend, and we want you to come see us and see the 3Run4 group. Shout out to Jason Pippi for organizing and getting Team Jakey involved for this mental health fair where there's beer and other organizations in town. And if anything, if you know Four Hands, if you know 3Run4, and you know Team Jakey, and frankly, mostly superheroes, it's going to be fun. And that's March 15th. And we also have 2 other events a little further out in the calendar, but you can find more about Team Jakey, learn more about the group at teamjakey.org. Help is here when you need it. Resources are linked up at that site. Always remember 988. You can call or text 988 if you're low, if you know someone that's low or needs help. Licensed therapists are waiting for your call or your text at 988. You're not alone. It's always darkest before the dawn, and there's help out there. Again, teamjakey.org, 988, and shout out to our friends at Provident Behavioral Health, St. Louis. Next up, let's talk about some TV and film. You might be here for that.
What you watching?
All right, one thing that's been missing from this program is like my stuff. I want to make sure I bring in things that I'm watching, things that I'm not just, having fun with and program. All this is fun for me, by the way, but sometimes I just sit and watch some TV, and I want to tell you what I've been watching. First up is The Pit. If you've heard about The Pit, season 2 is here, and it's just awesome. It is top tier, high caliber, high stakes, great character development. Also, the fact that the show takes place 1 hour to the next, minute by minute to the real time, just adds a level to it. I have some experience working in an ER and an OR from X-ray and CAT scan perspective. I did that. It's been a long time. Been almost a couple. I won't even say how long. It's been a long time, and just from that perspective, showing a high functioning ER in Pittsburgh with Noah Wiley. I always screw up his last name. Falling Skies. This guy was just at Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Happy Mardi Gras if you celebrate. And St. Louis does the second biggest Mardi Gras in town. So I think St. Louis is just recovering from our week with Mardi Gras, and happy, I guess, kickoff of Lent, I guess. A lot of folks are celebrating. I didn't know Noah from The Pit was such a big Mardi Gras. You got to go to his social media and look. He's like in a full gown. He was like leading the parade. But the show itself, The Pit, Just really good, really gory too. You know, if you can't do gory, you're gonna have to cover your eyes. But I would say it's worth it to watch it, even if you do get a little, queasy, because the show is just high caliber. And I would say for me, I like to binge shows usually. Like a binge situation is the way I like to watch. But with The Pit, I'm fine with just one at a time. I'm not trying to binge The Pit. I feel like it's kind of like The Bear. It's like a high octane type show, even though I will say there's some downtime. So The Pit, it's on HBO. Are you watching? We're coming close to the finale. Also on HBO, I can't say enough good things about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I really can't. I didn't know what this show was going to be. I think HBO did a good job keeping it under wraps in terms of people that know the books and all these like that what's actually going to happen. You know how all these Targaryens line up. I would say I don't know that because I haven't read the books. But what Carrie and I, my wife, do know is Game of Thrones through and through, and House of the Dragon through and through. And we do look up the family trees just to see, like, once you find out certain things. If you haven't seen this show, I guess what I'm saying is you might think it's just this story about Duncan the Tall, but there's a lot more going on. And I think I heard a rumor that this show could go, this is rumor town. This is not news. 15 seasons. Someone was saying might try to get 15 seasons out of this. And it really got me thinking about what that means because I'm into this show. It's almost like the down and dirty, poor people, everyday people, but you're still mixing in like the royal families and showing like war and battles. But it's like this personal story. Also, just all the fun parts of Game of Thrones are in here, along with like the high tense parts. They bring, you kind of worry: is it too funny? Is it too silly? Is it going to be able to be serious enough? The show, it brings it. It's got that Game of Thrones drama, and it's just so great. And I think I think there's one more. There's one more as of February 20th. We're coming up on the finale. So catch us talking about it on the pod. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Let us know what you think at 754 call log or at mostlysuperheroes.com. Couple more from me. The Burbs. Tom Hanks in The Burbs. The original movie came out in 1989. Same as me. All right. Hey, there you go. If you do the math. And there's a new show out with Keke Palmer called The Burbs with 8 episodes. Talked about it with Jamie Drock. She got to give us some inside scoop about the show. And then me and Carrie just flat out watched it. So my take, spoiler free, not going to ruin anything for you. They pretty much have done a reboot, but it's somewhat of a sequel as well. But it doesn't seem like it's a direct sequel, unless I'm really playing an investigator as I watch Tom Hanks in The Burbs, then the show. But there are all the nods. If you look at the posters that are up on the screen, you can see like they're almost exactly the same. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of nods, Easter eggs, one-liners, like little lines. That was, I think we were 20 minutes into the show, The Burbs. And I stopped and I said, I think we should watch the movie because I had never seen it. Carrie thought maybe she had, but she didn't remember it from like when she was a kid. And so we put it on. And I would say it absolutely adds to the experience. And if you want to hear more about the show, go listen to our interview with Jamie Drock because she talked a little more in depth about it. But I'm just here to tell you, it's a fun watch. I would say both are just kind of goofy, quirky, kind of playing on that premise of living in a suburbia neighborhood, pushing where the lines are crossed between curiosity and crime and, stories. And again, a lot of comedy. And you got a really great cast. An all-star lineup in the Burbs with people just making you laugh. I would say it was a little slow for me. I thought it felt like it was trying to get its footing a little bit, but it did, I believe, end on, I think Jamie let us know, a cliffhanger. So I don't know. Is that enough to give it a season 2? I'm not giving the strongest reaction. I'd probably give it a 3.2 out of a 4.0 on the Mostly scale. That's The Burbs, the show. The movie, I would give it a better rating because I think it stood pretty good as a movie with kind of like a tie-in of the, who's crazy kind of, they flip things on their heads and there's always like one more mystery. I give the movie a 3.6 out of 4.0 on that Mostly scale. And another throwback for you, kind of mixing in the new with the old, a favorite of mine, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox. Here we go. We should be back live, hopefully, on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We're using Restream. I just got a message that said your stream went down, but I think we're back. So we're still running here. We're on Mostly Superheroes, live across the channels, and we still release this as a podcast. And wrapping up Walk Hard 2007, watch the movie. It's so many one-liners, so many great songs, and like a beautiful movie that brings a tear to your eye somehow by the end. It's all done. Yeah, it's just something that I put on again and again and again. It's like a feel-good, hilarious, definitely R-rated movie for adults. You never pay for drugs, do we? Not once. All right, this is going to be a new release. You want a new release review, a spoiler-free new release review? You can always count on Scotty Scoop doing it for us, helped by Allied Global Marketing, local movie theaters. Let's hear from Scotty and the movie that he's got for us this week. Another movie review coming at you now from Scotty Scoop, seeing the movies early thanks to Allied Global Marketing, and shout out to AMC Creve Coeur 12 Theater, where Scotty saw How to Make a Killing, starring Glenn Powell, in theaters February 20th. Here's that review from Scotty Scoop. How to Make a Killing review. When his mother was ousted from her billionaire family when he was just a young boy, Beckett Redfellow, played by Powell, was always told that when he grew up, he needed to live the life he deserved. Eighth in line to inherit the family fortune, with no real prospects of moving ahead in life, he decides to take his future into his own hands and move up the line the quickest way possible, killing the family that stands between him and the billions he knows belongs to him. Cousins, aunts, uncles, grandfather. But is he sacrificing who he is and the values instilled in him growing up without the vast resources money provides? Can you have the money and the happiness without the weight of how you got in on your conscience? This movie was an absolute gem. Bordering on dark comedy, this type of film is the perfect vehicle for someone with the charm and easygoing personality of Glenn Powell. As far as performances go, I don't think there was a weak spot among the entire cast of characters. Qualley as the childhood crush back in his life as a spoiled rich girl. Topher Grace as an evangelical, shady megachurch running cousin. Zach Woods as the slacker, aimless artist, and Jessica Henwick as the probably too good for him love interest. All perfect. No notes. 3.7 out of 4.0 on the Mostly scale. A cautionary tale of sacrificing who you are for what you think you need, but also funny. Can we just get Glenn Powell in a super suit of some kind already? Like now. Marvel, DC, whatever. This year has had an impressive streak of good movies. How to Make a Killing, in theaters February 20th, thanks to AMC, our friends at Alamo, Allied Global Marketing. Go see the movie and let us know what you think at 754-CALL-LOG and mostlysuperheroes.com. And we're just going to wrap up the show with what's coming up. We got a couple interviews. Brandon Williams from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis is coming in. And have you seen the documentary on Netflix, Secret Mall Apartment? We got the guy from Secret Mall Apartment, Michael Townsend himself, also of Tape Art. You can see their gorgeous art at tapeart.com. And he talks about the Secret Mall Apartment. Him and his friends just waited for this optimal moment for a mall to be built from the ground up, found a little place inside, and over the years had a secret place. Go watch the documentary on Netflix and then come back to Mostly Superheroes to hear our interview. Thank you so much for joining us. We do try to keep it tight here for you on Friday Live and pack in a full show with the giveaways, the event updates, and everything that's happening in the Mostly Superheroes universe. We have prizes every single week. We're an independent shop, and we're all about the fandom on this show. We're professional fans. So if you're liking the things we're talking about, from musicals and live events and concerts to Marvel, DC, Star Wars, movies, and just maybe some good old Team Jakey mental health events. Yeah, it's a variety talk show, and there's all sorts of stuff happening. Go subscribe to our free monthly newsletter at mostlysuperheroes.com. mostlysuperheroes.com, mostly superheroes on the socials. And we are on Patreon and Apple Podcasts with those ad-free early episodes. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this show and get in on our fun at our screen and socials and on the podcast. Once again, I'm Logan Janis from Scotty, Andy, Sam, Carrie. We will see you next time on the show. Take it easy.